introduce your Master of Ceremonies for this evening. From Toronto, ladies and gentlemen, another of the White Hair Brigade, Richard Flohill.
It's a real pleasure to be here to welcome you to help celebrate what must be surely a unique thing in Canadian broadcasting, a single weekly radio show every week for 40 years with the same host. That is amazing. I've got to introduce the mayor of this city. What you may or may not know, and the fact his presence here indicates this, is he is a keen, long-term supporter of CKUA, and it is a pleasure to introduce His Worship, Steve Mandel.
Thanks, Richard. Firstly, I want to congratulate you not on CKUA, but also Stony Flame Records, which is an institution in our province, has really been given great contribution to so many musicians and allowed Edmonton to flourish in the world of music, and allowed our various musicians and entertainers to succeed. And we owe a great deal of debt to you for that. And this is a small token of appreciation of the city. It's just a plaque that says CKUA Radio Network. Really should be the switch on the 40th anniversary of Natch'l Blues with Holger Petersen. Marvelous. Keep up the next 40, because she looks so damn young. You'll probably be there. Congratulations.
And he's just one of those wonderful people that's been doing what he does for all that time, and he's serious. When you meet him, you realize that that's what he does and that's what he means, and there's a lot of heart in Holger Petersen. It's a pleasure to know him, and a pleasure to know that he's around.
Yeah, well, I have known Holger for a while. I don't know exactly where we met. We're sort of brothers of the same lodge, but one thing about it, you know, when we all leave this earth, we're on our deathbeds. We can't take our money with us, our cars, our clothes, or this or that. All we can take is memories, you know. And this is hoping that Holger, when that day comes for you, you'll have many memories just like this.
I was lucky enough to go to school with his brother, and I remember that Reiner said to us, you know, there's a really cool show on CKUA you guys should listen to. And you know, it was very interesting because we all glommed onto this thing immediately because it was playing the kind of music that we wanted to hear. There was something else out there other than what was available elsewhere in Radio Land, and we were craving for it. It was not top 40, it was something different. As it turned out, Natch'l Blues was also the connector for all of us to get into the other programming in CKUA, because we'd listen to Natch'l Blues and then we'd leave the car radio on CKUA and then get in the car later that night, and Tony Dylan Davis would be trying to mess our brains on something that was at least 25 minutes long. It was such a terrific experience for us young kids, and it absolutely twisted my entire group of friends and made us forever CKUA listeners.
Holger was one of the people who, Ed Kilpatrick, who originally hired Holger. I was not the guy. Remember, I was the manager. I didn't know what the hell was going on. But Holger was assigned to put together some of these programs, to actually produce these Acme sausage programs and get them on the air. And so Ed Kilpatrick, bless his soul, one day got the idea, either from somebody else or out of his own head, that it would be nice to have a recording of some of the things that had appeared on the Acme Sausage Company. And who did he choose to put that recording together? A guy who knew absolutely nothing about the recording business, a fellow named Holger Petersen. And now you know where Holger learned how the record business worked.
The fact that for nearly half of CKUA's history, you, Holger, have not only produced and hosted an outstanding radio program, but have in fact embodied those noble principles, is a testament to your personal integrity and your commitment to what you love. But your work at CKUA is not only exemplary, it has in fact benefited many. It's benefited CKUA through 40 years of consistently high-quality professional radio programming. It's benefited Albertans and Canadians by engendering a much greater awareness and understanding of blues music. And it has without doubt benefited the blues music community itself. Now I know that because you're a gentleman and you're a humble man, you're not always comfortable being singled out for this sort of tribute. But I think when anyone looks carefully at all you have accomplished so far, 40 years of Natch'l blues, 10 Junos, 5 Grammy nominations, the Order of Canada, not to mention the friends you've made and the friends that you have kept through it all. I think you'll understand, I hope you'll understand, if we just kind of stand back a bit and say, wow. But in addition, and on behalf of myself and all who have benefited from and been inspired by your work and your passion, I would also like to say a sincere thank you for all you've done. We admire you, Holger. We most certainly respect you. We love you, and we are all so happy and proud to know you. Congratulations. I'm deeply honored to be with you tonight, celebrating 40 years of Natch'l Blues. I want to thank everybody who's here. And I actually started hanging around CKUA in 1968. I was a student taking radio and television arts, along with Bob Chelmick and Chris Allen, and discovered CKUA by listening to Tony Dillon Davis on the weekends. And I just called Tony out of the blue, and he said, well, do you want to come in, sit in some evening? And I said, fantastic. And I started making a habit of doing that, and Tony and his generosity offered to air the interviews that I was doing for the Nate Nugget when I was taking radio and TV arts. And that's how I first got on CKUA, running shows, interviews on CKUA. And the wonderful late Ed Kilpatrick offered me a job at the station after he found out about my interest in the blues, and he asked me to host the show. So that's 40 years, about 2,000 shows later.